America's Newsroom, I'm Heather Nauert. President Bush met at the White House today with Japan's Prime Minister. Mr. Bush praised Japan for its, quote, role in the immeasurable progress it has made toward getting North Korea to scrap its nuclear weapons ambitions. Fox News has learned that the U.S. allowed an American computer company to provide sensitive high-tech equipment to Syria, a state sponsor of terrorism. Washington is now looking into whether that should have been granted. The equipment is supposed to support a UN-sponsored program to upgrade Syria's customs and border operations, but could have been used to detect Israeli warplanes that bombed a suspected nuclear site earlier this year. Your World returns right now, and Gibson and I will see you at the top of the hour for the big story. One of the stories we're working on tonight, Drew Peterson is speaking out today, but so is his second wife. We'll tell you what they both said. That's coming up at 5 o'clock. We hope to see you then on the big story.
Okay, so is Starbucks losing its cool? The stock is on word that its business is too. Shares dropping about 4%. A sign of a slow economy, or are people just sick of shelling out $5 for a cup of coffee? Let's ask our market pros, Tracy Burns, Matt McCall, and Peter Schiff, the author of Crash Proof. Peter, you've been talking about the slowing economy. Is it popping up in coffee sales now?
Absolutely. You know, with the rising cost of food and energy, with mortgages resetting and home equity evaporating, I mean, people have to cut back any way they can. And a $5 cup of coffee seems like a good place to start. And I think it's going to get a lot worse in the next few years. You know, most of the mortgages, the ARMs, haven't reset yet. That's going to happen next year in 09 and 010. And as other, prices keep going up, Americans are going to cut corners, and they're going to stop spending.
Okay, so more coffee troubles to come. That creature comforts that we would spoil ourselves on, we're going to stop spoiling ourselves on?
Absolutely not. I just did some scientific research, Neil. I just came from a Starbucks. I sat there for 2 hours. There was 10 people in line for the straight 2 hours I was in there, so I don't think they're cutting back at all. I think what happened here with the Starbucks numbers is over the last few years, it went from the yuppies and the wannabe yuppies down to the blue-collar workers. They may be slowing down a little bit right now, but also McDonald's is coming out with a competition to Starbucks. So I think it's more company-specific, and I think the consumer continues to spend.
Yeah, I guess the question, Tracy, is whether they're willing to spend up to $5 for a cup of coffee. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think Matt's right. This is a business problem. This is a company that grew too fast and doesn't have enough people now to get in all the stores. I mean, there's one on every corner here in Manhattan, and there's not enough people to actually buy all that coffee. You know, they're blaming the economy. They're blaming price of milk. It has more to do with the business model and what they're doing.
In other words, they've built too many stores.
Too many, too fast. This happened with McDonald's, and McDonald's itself had to pull back, slow down, and now finally McDonald's is back in action again. And the same thing's happening with Starbucks. I think blaming the slowing consumer on Starbucks' falling stock price is a reach.
Yeah, Peter, when I have looked outside Starbucks, stores, and I don't go inside them because the people in there scare me, frankly, but when I go there, I mean, they're like pod people. They just give me another $5 coffee. Give me another $5 coffee.
But, Neil, it's not just Starbucks. Look around. Other retailers are coming up with the same thing. It's not isolated to Starbucks. All sorts of retailers are having problems. They're reporting a slowdown in sales. The one thing that's buffeting the sales is all the tourists coming down from Canada or flying over from Europe with empty
suitcases. On the currency stuff.
Who are buying stuff. But Americans, with a depreciating dollar and rising costs, are having a hard time borrowing more money and spending it.
All right, even on coffee. Guys, thank you very much. Now to another alarming trend we are all